Oh, hello. I'm Mark Pikert, editor in chief of The Gay Goods, and you are tuned in to this week's installment of The Gay Goodies with special guest Jake Waters. 15 years ago, I got my start in gay porn. Then I got fired. Now I'm back, I'm thriving, and though the faces may have changed, the hassles are just the same. I'm really excited to talk to Jake today because he is brand new to the industry. So, from one grizzled old whore to the new generation, I'm here to give him some advice and learn from what I should be doing. Probably something on TikTok. Let's find out, shall we? Jake Waters.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. It's so nice to see someone wearing a tank top. It's been these many months of sweaters.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for having me this morning.
Oh, it is my pleasure. And thank you for getting the guns out for me.
Oh, not a problem.
Okay, so there are so many things that I want to get into with you.
Okay.
One, I am obsessed with the tweet in which you said that you came out to your family as a porn performer.
Yes.
And their reaction was basically, do you wear a mask?
That was my mom. She was like, she just looked at me, and it's so funny because I'm sitting side by side with her at our dining room table, and my dad is standing behind me. And my dad's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, why did you tell me? I go, well, just in case you happen to run across it, I didn't want you to be surprised. I'd rather you hear it from me first. And he's like, well, are you sleeping with chicks? I was like, well, no. He goes, well, then how would I run across it? I'm like, you don't know. You could accidentally click on something. He just started laughing. Then my mom just looks at me like, well, did you wear a mask? I go, even if I wore a mask, Mom, I got tattoos all over my body, they would recognize me. She's like, oh, that's true. But then she's like, okay, just be safe. I love you.
My mother, this is my second job in porn. Before this, I was a casting director for Michael Lucas. I got fired. That's another story. But my mother, too, has always been like, okay, if you're having fun, you know what's best, so go, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Which is remarkable considering how much money she paid for my college education.
Yeah, that's my parents too. Like I still have my student loan, so hopefully the government will take care of those. But my mom's like, well, you have your degrees. Why don't you go do something in that? And she's literally texted me every day. Well, have you tried this place? Have you looked here? Are you applying? What are you doing? And I'm like, Mom. She was, I'm just trying to help you, baby. She was, I just don't want you to lose your house. I'm like, I'm good, Mom. I appreciate it.
So what is your degree in?
I have a degree in business management and in HR. So when I was going to school, my counselor was like, if you take an extra couple of classes, you can get a double major. I'm like, oh, no problem. He didn't tell me it was going to cost another $20,000, but I got him.
Oh, that is an expensive lesson. Don't listen to guidance counselors.
Right? But I'm glad that I got the degrees because they've actually helped in my former job. I was a supervisor in a call center, which I didn't actually think I would use my degrees. I'm like, I'm working in a call center. How hard is that? Man, let me tell you, that HR degree came in handy. It's like, nope, I can't say that. I can't do this.
When did you make the decision to leave other employment and go full time with porn?
When they let me go. They're like, yeah, so your employment is under review. So you can either resign or you can possibly come in on Monday and get fired. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I resigned. I gave a 2-week notice.
I always love to make them fire me. Jobs are like relationships. Someone's going to tell you when it's time to leave.
I was like, I've never been fired in my life, and I refuse. The first person who ever wrote me up in my job was my mom, because we worked together. I know my mom has been there through everything in my life, but we worked together and she was my ride to work. And we got to work late and she wrote me up. I was like, wait a second, you were my ride, so how do you write me up for being late? She said, you should have got us out of the house earlier. I was like, I can't believe this.
I like your mother.
I love my mom, but she's ruthless, but I love her to death.
I honestly, getting fired was one of my favorite experiences. I celebrated. I went to McDonald's and I got 2 weeks severance and unemployment. And I watched every episode of Caroline in the City on Lifetime Real Women, an offshoot network of Lifetime. And it was winter and I just stayed inside and I ate trash and just chain smoked, drank, played video games.
Oh my God.
A golden time. Now, of course, we don't do any of that.
I mean,
we're always out and about.
Well, I mean, in the last, year now, since, what has been 11, 12, about 11 months now, I think we've kind of been back to that.
Yeah, everything comes back. So you got started. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to presume your timeline. You give me your timeline for when you went full-time in porn. How long ago was that?
Well, I started in November of 19. By sheer luck, honestly. I was on one of the little dating apps, and
I call them location-based dating apps.
Yes. And I happened to be talking to a porn star. I didn't know it at the time. We were thousands of miles apart. We were just having a nice little conversation. We've had several conversations prior to, and his tattoos look so familiar. I'm like, I've seen those tattoos before. And I'm just like, so I just asked him in school, what do you do for a living? And he goes, I'm a porn star. And I go, I didn't say it out loud, but I thought to myself, I was like, damn it, I knew it. I've seen this somewhere before. And I was like, you know what? I've always been interested in going into that industry, but I've always been in a relationship, so I could never pursue it. It was always been one of those fantasies you have, but you never really pursue. And he's like, hey, you have the perfect body for it. And, we've been talking for a while. You got a great attitude. Here's a number. He gave me Shishi LaRue's number, which I'm thinking it's fake, it's not real, and all this other stuff. And then a couple of months go by, and I'm sitting at my desk right now, and I happen to see the number that I wrote down. I was like, you know what? Let me just text and see if this is real. I text. She replied back. We had a phone call. We shared some information. She said, go get tested. Next thing I know, I was on a flight to LA, and then I was on set with all of these lights and cameras and all these different people and just standing there stark naked like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Now that is a true overnight sensation moment.
Yes, it really was. It was so surreal, and I'm just like, I'm here. This is a fantasy come true. All right, now let's make the most of this. Let's do what I can with it. And then once I did two scenes with her. Absolutely loved it, and she was the best. She pulled me to the side and said, what do you need? What can I do to make you feel comfortable? If I need to clear the set, if we need to kick everyone out of the house, what do you need to make you feel comfortable? Because baby, and you know how she is. She's like, you've got something, and I want to make sure that we keep going with this. And it was from that moment on, and I even texted her like 2 weeks ago, just out of the blue, and was like, hey, how are you doing? And she's like, baby, I'm good. How are you? What can I do for you? I'm like, do for me? I'm good, but how are you? But that's just how she was, and that made me appreciate the adult industry because I've heard so many negative things about it. But I have not experienced any of these negative things. And the people that I've worked with, the people that I've had interactions with, everyone's been great.
I mean, how wonderful that your first experience was with Shishi.
Right? It was so amazing. And I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm in the right hands. I'm with someone who's been doing this for a while, someone who's a professional, someone who has connections in the industry. Because then she introduced me to Max Connor, who's my agent. And from Max and I had a conversation before I signed with him saying, here's all the things that I want to do, and here's all the things that I don't want to do. And we clicked. So I've done that. I've gone on from there. I was able to be one of the trophy boys at this year's Gay the Ends, which I was extremely excited. I'm like, how did I get picked out of all these good looking guys out here? I'm here, like me and the 5 other guys that I was with. I was so honored to do that.
Ray Dexter is a friend.
Yes.
And he wrote an essay about being a trophy boy for the Gay Goods.
Oh, that's cool. And Ray is hilarious. I love Ray. He's so. When I first met him, he was so quiet and like really like to himself for the first 5 minutes, and then after that, it was like he just opened up. I was like, "Oh, you are not who I thought you were. You are extremely exciting and very outgoing." He's like, "Let's go do this. Let's go do that." I'm like, "Girl, sit down. We're in California. Nothing's open." It's like, damn it, he's back to New York. Love Ray.
So on top of doing a lot of studio porn and working with House of Connor, you're also very active on Flirt for Free.
Yes, I do that. I need to be a little bit more active. I would love to do that. I love hosting in my little rooms and having great conversations with people. I absolutely love it. One of the guys got on there and was like, "Oh, here comes Jake and his talk show," because that's. I love having these great conversations with people all around the world, and some of our conversations they're not heavy conversations, but they're real lighthearted, but they have to do with anything and everything. I leave everything open. I'm an open book. You ask me a question, I'm going to give you an answer. If you like it, you like it. If not, you asked, I answered. I had this one conversation I had, and I said this yesterday. I was talking to somebody. I had a straight guy jump into the room, and he was talking to me, and I go, hold up, you're straight? He goes, yeah. I go, then why are you here? I said, I'm a gay guy hosting this room that, I'm sitting there with my shirt off. He goes, well, you're very attractive, and my wife and I are trying to get into swinging. And man, I tell you, my chat room lit up. There were so many people that were in there that were straight, gay, bi, and everyone was having these conversations about how to get into the swinging lifestyle, or they're bi and they're this. I just kind of just sat back and just watched the conversation happen. It was so great to see all of these different people from around the world talking and having a good time. Loved it.
I've never heard of anyone treating their cam room in that way, and it's so genius. I'm shocked that more people don't do it.
Well, a lot of people are on it. Don't get me wrong. To make some money. I mean, I'm there too, but I just don't want to get on there and be in front of a camera and get stark naked and then just jack off or something. I mean, I can do that and then post it on Twitter, but I want to have these interactions with people. I want to have these interactions with people, especially during the quarantine when people had no outlet. It was literally them and a pet in a room, and you can only talk to your cat or your dog for so long, and then they start talking back, you got problems. So,
girl, you can only talk to your boyfriend for so long too. So it's not just animals.
True. That is true. Well, a dog, but but it was, for me, it was fun. And I kind of got away from it because I started to spend more time on that than I was spending with myself and working on myself. And I noticed that, and I was like, hey, let me step away. Excuse me. Let me step away from a minute. Let me reinvent this. And then, so I was hosting them here in my office, but then I was like, okay, let me switch it up a little bit. So I moved it to my bed. And then it was fun. It was a little bit more intimate, not so much of the talk show so much, but more of an intimate, okay, now let's get to know me, let me get to know you type of thing. And then now I have painted a room in my basement to do some stuff in there. But since it's so cold right now in my basement, I'm going to wait.
Yeah, the only reason to do a talk show live when it's cold is so that your nipples really protrude, but I think you're okay.
Yeah, mine do it all the time, so they're natural.
Speaking of your Twitter, I have two questions. One, when are you posting the photos of you in the Skull and Bones underwear that you were sent?
I will be posting those soon. So I reached out to a friend of mine who's a photographer, and because it's such a big brand, I want to make sure that I do these pictures justice. And I just don't want to I don't want to just pull out my cell phone and just snap some pictures in my house. I want to make sure that that I am selling the garment, as RuPaul says on her show. I want to make sure that I'm giving these underwear that they gave me. So I got 2 pair of underwear and 2 jocks, and I have these themes in my head, but I don't have anywhere in my house to shoot them. And my friend does some really good photography, and he's done the first couple of photos that I've ever professionally taken. And I want to make sure that when I take these photos and I post them, that Skull and Bone is like, okay, it was the right decision to give him these underwear. I don't want them to look at him like amateur. Next, I want to make sure I want to make sure I do them justice.
And we want you to do yourself justice as well. So we're all on board with that.
Yes. And I'm telling these underwear, the pair they gave me are these pink, kind of lacy, like real short under. They are amazing. When I opened them, I'm like, I can't wait for everyone to see me in these, because they're something I probably wouldn't buy for myself because they're a little feminine, but the way that I'm not bragging on myself, but I've been killing myself in the gym during this time. And the way that my butt looks right now, I cannot wait for them to put these on for everyone to see.
You know, one of my lessons from quarantine is no one else is going to talk about how attractive I am, so I'm going to do it myself.
Yes. You got to. You got to
people really hate it, but I don't care. I'm a 12 out of 10.
Bitch, I'm a 15. I'm taking.
So what do you do? What do you do at the gym to get that ass?
Squats. I do a lot of squats and a lot of leg workouts. And I've asked people online. I'm like, because everyone decided to post their online tutorials on how to work out during quarantine, and I was eating it up. I was like, okay, do this, and I was lucky enough to have a gym that stayed open, so I was able to work out. I didn't have a full gym, but I was able to at least get my body to stay in shape. And then when my gym reopened, I called my personal trainer. I'm like, look, this is what I'm trying to do. I need to get back in shape. I need to get in better shape than I'm in now, because I have a photo shoot coming up. Here's what I want to do. So we got back together, and I didn't actually think I had an ass. Oh, can I say that on YouTube? I don't know.
You can.
I posted a video 2 weeks ago of me waking up. So I had that Beyonce song playing in the background. And when I rolled over onto my side, and it just went like my back, and then it just went like this, I was like, oh, where'd that come from? I was so proud of myself, because it's different when I'm standing up and looking versus me laying down. I was like, okay, all right, whose anaconda is coming over?
So you've been flying to LA a lot to film. How many scenes do you do over what period of time? Like, how are you banking enough scenes to make this work?
I'm not. So I've been flying to California to do, mostly it was for the gay VNs. So they kept, and because of the quarantine, they kept flying us back and forth, which I appreciate it. I got my flyer miles and all that. Thank you, Southwest. But I just left. I left San Diego last week. I did 2 scenes with Next Door Studio, and that was great. And I was supposed to do something with them in October, but unfortunately, we weren't able to make it work. But that was okay. So they were like, you know what, we can't make it work this time, so let's get you like first thing in 2021. So hopefully I'll be able to go back soon. It's like, you guys call me up anytime. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here.
Well, you've got your talk show now.
Yes, I got my talk show. I'm gonna get that up and running again, and it's so much fun. I'm having a blast doing this. I really am.
I mean, that's the thing. Before this, I was the editor-in-chief of Playbell, which is the thing that you get at Broadway theaters.
Uh-huh.
And it was like a great job, and I made a nice paycheck, but I was so miserable. I was so bored. And I just wanted to do something that I was going to have fun and get to like do something fresh for once. And so I came and started the Gay Goods, which has been so much fun. And yes, like it makes such a difference to wake up and be excited about what you're going to do that day.
Oh, absolutely. And then all these ideas that I have running in my head is like, I almost need a 3-man team. I'm like, I need this, I need this, I need, because I can't do it all on my own, but I have to right now. I mean, you starting this, and then other people who started from the ground up, you have to start from somewhere, and you start with me, myself, and I, and then eventually people will catch on. People will want to work with you. You start recruiting family and friends, and it just becomes an empire.
So this has come up a few times before. I really want to start a job site for porn fans to volunteer their time to help, like with editing, with content creation, with handling social media accounts.
That's a great idea.
Because I feel like there are so many porn fans who would do it for free just to help their favorite models out. And then there are so many subs who would absolutely do it if you just, call them names every once in a while.
Yeah.
And like, send them some sweaty socks. I mean, no shade.
But it's true. It really is. And that is a great idea. That's a fabulous idea, actually.
Right? Maybe I'm gonna talk to a dev guy about adding that to the Gay Goods, like a Craigslist classifieds.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not sex.
That's right. Thank God Grindr came around. Otherwise, we would have all been shit out of luck when Craigslist wrapped up its personals.
Right?
Wait, no. I have to call you out on something, though. Oh. So, as all of my many, many viewers of this talk show know, I am obsessed with the Amazon wish lists of models.
Okay.
I went to your Amazon wish list, which is included on your OnlyFans page.
Yes.
Girl. It's not a wish list. It's just a link to Rachel Ray's Nutrish dog food.
That's all I want.
But if you put it in your cart, it's not going to go to you. They don't have your address.
Oh, okay. I need to fix that then. Not bad.
Also, all you want is Rachel Ray's Nutrish?
Well, it's for my dog. So when I stopped working and started doing this full time, I can find food for myself, and I can go to my mom's house or whatnot. But when it comes to dog food, I mean, my dog can't open the refrigerator and make herself a sandwich, even though she tries. But I would like, if anything, if I can get if people send me dog food, at least I know my dog will be taken care of. I'm more worried about my dog than I am myself.
I mean, I love that. You have a big heart.
I do.
Just make sure that you're going to get that dog food.
Right? Because she likes it. She won't eat, and she's so picky. She's like me. She will not eat anything else.
I had the same kind of dog and also had to buy Nutrish a lot, which is why I was really tickled when I went to your wish list and it was just Rachel Ray dog food. I was like, oh my God, is this 2014 again? Jesus. So excellent taste in dog food. Excellent taste.
Thank you.
But tidy that up. I worry.
Add
like an external hard drive or a jock strap or something just to spice it up.
I will. So you know what? Someone else said something about that. They're like, all you need is dog food? Like, is that all you're eating? It's like, it's not for me. Well, and so someone like, well, what do you want? What do you need? I've grown up always working for what I wanted. So if I wanted something, I worked for it and then I went and bought it. I was never one to always ask for things. So me asking for people to send me money, like when I'm doing the flirt for free, like, oh, tip me for this. It almost sounds like I'm begging, and I don't like that. That's just me, but it's like, you know what? I am spending my time and my resources doing this, and you want to see something. I don't want to sound like a stripper, but you need to tip me.
Something to keep in mind, money and gifts are like compliments. And it's embarrassing to ask for them, but it's not necessarily about you. It's about the other person wanting to do that for you.
And I'm trying to get into that mindset. So because someone else explained it the same way, it's like it's me doing it because I want to. It has nothing to do with you. So this is what I have. I have the extra whatever. If I want to send you a gift, I want to send you money. I have that. I want to do that for you. So don't feel guilty about it. And I'm like, okay. And I was talking to my brother and sister about it. And my brother's like, you better get it. And my sister's like, she goes, I'll do it.
I was a cam boy for a couple of months, which I was terrible at. But I tried it. It's a lot of work. I did not have a talk show. I should have. I would have been much better at this. But I had a few fans, and one of them really loved to send me money. And so every now and then I would just Skype him and be like, hey, I'm in a cab. It's going to be $20. Can you PayPal me? And he would do it.
Wow. Nice.
And that made me feel really pretty.
Oh, I think that does make you feel special when someone. So I love it when someone's like, you know what? When people would jump into my room and then just give me a quick tip and then leave. They wouldn't say anything. They would just leave. Oh, thank you.
Just throw some money at me and get out of my sight. That's the dream.
Right? Can someone do that in real life to drop a suitcase full of money at my front door?
I mean, maybe someone watching this.
No, see, but then they need my address. I'm going to give them a P.O. box.
Get a P.O. box. That's smart. That's good thinking.
Yes. Mama didn't raise a fool.
So someone mentioned recently, because I've been doing a few of these, and they said, you don't ask about anyone's dating life. And I thought, well, I don't really care. But I don't know. What is it like dating when you're doing porn?
It's hard. It's really difficult. And I was dating someone like after I started doing this, and he was like, oh, okay, I'm good with that. And I'm like, okay, are you sure? So I went through like every dirty detail I could possibly imagine and scenario and all this. And I go, then I'm going to catch a flight. I'm going to come home, and then I'm going to kiss you after I did all of this. You're okay with that? Oh, yeah. So we started dating, and then quarantine hit because of the virus, and we really got to know each other. And then when I went to LA in October to film with Next Door Studio, even though we didn't happen, but the build up before that got real weird and started asking all these different questions and this scenarios and then all that. So it got weird, but he's like, I still support you because I just have questions and stuff like that. But for me, it was uncomfortable. Great guy, love him to death, but it was just, I had to end it because for me to do this, I have to give all of my attention and to building this brand. So it was difficult to date someone.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry, I got a little dead air, but it was difficult. But I had to end the relationship because I knew the attention that was needed in the relationship, I wasn't ready for. I was ready to put my attention into building my brand and my name up in this industry. So it was just one of those things. And like even now, I'm not looking to date someone, but when you're on these little opportunity dating sites on your phone, I put in there what I do. This way, it's not a surprise to anyone. So if you're going to talk to me, I put in there like, yes, I'm in the adult industry. It's exactly what you think it is. So there's no surprise. And then people were like, you either going to talk to me because you're interested or you're just gonna go. I mean, it is what it is. But right now, I'm not interested in dating anyone right now. I'm not even looking to date.
This is all about you. This is your time. Also,
Yeah.
I love that you're concerned about dead air. It happened, and I was like, oh. And then you're like, oh, I'm so sorry about the dead air. And I'm like, oh, girl.
But you know how some people are. They'll be like, oh, look at that dead air. Bitch, don't be clocking us.
Oh, I don't care. People come for me all the time. People really don't like me.
Really? You're such a great guy.
Oh my God. Well, thank you. No, people really don't like me. It's very strange. They're just jealous, as my mother would say.
Right? My aunt would say, let your haters be your motivators.
Oh, is your Aunt Taylor Swift?
No. No. My aunt is in her 70s. She's so cute. So when I was in California, I told them that I was doing this too. My aunt just looked at me because I didn't tell my parents yet. And I looked at my aunt and said, don't you say a word. She goes, I'm not saying it. She goes, you live your best life. She goes, I knew you're out here doing something, but I wasn't sure.
Before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask one more real question and then one fun question. I'm curious, when I was in the industry 15 years ago, working a bunch of different jobs, not just casting director, there was still a little bit of a stigma against being a bottom, just across the board, like culturally.
Oh.
Is there still a stigma in the adult industry about being a bottom? Do you still feel a little bit like apart from the other guys?
No, I don't. I guess because I love being a bottom, and I don't hear that. So the few scenes that I have done, I've not felt any negativity towards it whatsoever. People were like, "You're great at this. You should do this more often." Well, I'm trying to. So
you can only do it so often, though. You do have to rest.
I know people are like, oh, let's do this. I'm like, hold up now. I need to recuperate. But I have not felt that any negativity in the industry so far.
It's weird because a lot of people think of it as a very negative industry, and it can be on social media. I mean, every industry can be negative. God, I came from Broadway. They'll eat you alive there.
I don't doubt it.
But as much as there is that, I see so many models like gassing each other up on Twitter and replying to like photos and videos, complimenting them and asking when they get to film together.
Yeah, I get
that
that.
way it feels very close and like a community.
Oh, absolutely. So I get that a lot, and people are like, I get that a lot on Twitter, but it's like the DMs like, oh, when are you going to be in California next? I would love to do like an OnlyFans with you and all that. Like, oh my God, you're so hot. Let's do this and like that. I'm like, okay, let's schedule some stuff. Let's go. But remember, I don't live in LA, so it's gonna be a minute before I get back out there. It's like, oh well, where are you? And I tell them where I live. They're like, oh well, that sucks. I'm like, well, damn.
Well, okay. Add Southwest gift cards to your Amazon wish list.
Girl, I'm writing that down right now. I'm literally writing that down. Yes, I love. This is going to be a shameless plug to Southwest, but if anyone is watching Southwest, I love Southwest. So people are like when people are booking me to fly places, like, oh, what airline do you want to use? American, United? No, Southwest. Like, really? I'm like, I love Southwest. If Southwest, if they had first class besides the A group, I would fly first class in Southwest all the time.
I love Southwest for many reasons. One, it's just super convenient, and I love everything about it. But also, they have a Shake Shack in their terminal at LaGuardia.
I've never been to New York, but when I go, I will eat there.
Well, you let me know because I'm just down the street from LaGuardia.
Okay. Yeah, I've had so many invites to New York. But that's all that there is. And when you make it to New York, look me up. I'm like, because I'm gonna remember everyone's name. But girl, I will definitely look you up. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna give you my number. Well, we could chat. I like you. You fun.
Well, really, I want you to come to New York so you can drop Shake Shack off at my apartment on your way into the city.
I'm not Uber Eats.
Anyone's Uber Eats if they're in a cab carrying food to me, okay?
That'll be a $30 tip.
We'll see. Oh, you have no problem asking for a tip for that.
Hey, that bitch, this is a long trip. You told me to
all right, last question, because I have to do other things. And you've got a talk show. You've got to get back into bed for your talk show.
Right?
It's very Joan Rivers, by the way. Her last talk show was Joan in bed, and she would have her guests get into bed with her.
Right. I remember that.
So I'm not saying that you're the new Joan Rivers, but I'm not saying it.
Okay.
All right, last question. What celebrities did you jerk off to when you were growing up?
Interesting question. So they were all porn stars. I'm not gonna lie.
Really? You're the only one who said that.
Yeah. Well, I find celebrities attractive, like The Rock, Vin Diesel. They can get it anytime they want. All I do is
Thank you.
Yeah, I will buy my own ticket to go see them. And there's Taye Diggs, Denzel Washington, all your A-list fine actors like Ryan Felipe, or if that's how you say his last name. From when I saw him in Cruel Intentions, dude, that man he still is fine. And then I found out he was married to Reese Witherspoon. I was mad and happy for her. Mad because I can't get him, but happy for her that she's getting it. But
that's how I felt. That's how I felt about Jennifer Aniston and Justin Theroux.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you get that big old D, Jen.
Right. But I would watch. Oh my God! Now I cannot think of his name. Oh my, Rocco Steele.
Oh,
Rocco Steele, and it was more of the fantasy. It was like, this dude is going to rip me in half if I ever met him in real life. But I want to try. I want to attempt this. But when I look at him, he's just this big man. Like, and I'm 5'5". I'm pushing 140, and I don't know how tall or big he is, but he's just like, his hands will like just cover my entire chest, and I'd watch his videos and all that, and I'd almost stalk this man online. I'm like, okay, I got it. I was like, I'm gonna have to do this. But then when I got Twitter, and I was looking through some of his stuff, and just liking some of it, and then he friended me on Twitter. I was like, oh my God. I felt like, this is surreal. I was like, okay, we both work in the same industry now. I'm just waiting for that phone call. I'll be like, hey, you want to come film with me? Yes, but let me tell you, this is going to hurt me.
I mean, that was your plea to Rocco. I'm gonna cut this into a clip and then give it to you so that you can tweet it at him.
Yes, and I'd be like, please and thank you. But yeah, so Rocco Steele was one of them. But there were like quite a few porn stars that I'd go to Pornhub and be like, type in these people's names, and 15, 20 minutes later, in heaven.
God bless you. I mean, I'm at 78 years old, so I grew up before porn. So I was jerking off to Clark Gable and Cary Grant. I remember when that young upstart Frank Sinatra made all the Bobby Soxers swoon in the 40s.
I watched a lot of my dad's porn growing up on VHS. So it was a lot of the like behind the green door and all that. So I'd sneak into his room, grab his VHS, stick it in. Okay, now I can't send this to my parents, but I'd put it in, I'd watch it, then I would rewind it back to where it went back to zeros from where you started, and then put it back. So it was a lot of old school 70s porn I watched.
Yeah, I remember that weird setting on the VCR where you could, if it was in the middle of the tape, you could track it, and you would know exactly where to leave it.
Yes.
And then, God forbid, if you accidentally hit the wrong button on the remote and erased it,
Oh God.
and you'd have to guess
Or you
where
forgot.
to put it.
Or you forgot to do it, and then you're like, "Oh shit, did I do it or didn't I do it?" I'm like, no, I'm just gonna walk out of the house and freaking like nothing happened.
I don't know. Well, it's weird. Is it the ghost? Is the ghost back?
No idea.
Horny ghost. I've had so many horny ghosts in my life. It's very exhausting.
Well, I bet.
You can't get a good night's sleep.
Would you want to?
No. A little shimmy. Jake Waters, you're a fucking delight.
Thank you. I had a blast.
Yes. Well, and have me on your talk show next time. I'll take my top off.
Yes, you have to get certified with the Flirt for Free people because they like to find people like money.
I might be certified actually. I was a Cam 4 boy.
Okay.
But I think I might have done Flirt for Free at one point too, and Chatterbait. But let me look into it.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank all of you for watching. Let me know in the comments who you want to see next, and make sure that you follow Jake Waters on all of his social media, and subscribe to his OnlyFans. It's only $4.99. Right. Don't get a fucking cup of coffee today.
Yay! And believe me, you will not be disappointed.
You will not be disappointed.
No.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Goodbye.
Bye.